Hello, Dave. I am
Greetings.
honorable and most humble son. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Thanks. That was
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
a little awkward, but anyways, welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I'm Dino, as always, or your honorable and most humble son, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Inspector Dave. Yes, Honolulu Police, associated with Charlie Chan.
That's what it says on my business card.
Yes, we will talk about that when we get to it. I thought that was funny. Hello, Connie Clary, John Swan, Andrea Black, Edward Stewart, Red. What's going on, Red? Good to see you in the chat. Nathan, good to have you. Sweet Indigo, good to see you. Yes, we have storms here rolling in the Cleveland, Ohio area, but we are good. Yes.
Let me just say, hey.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So good clue. Oh wait, hold on. We're just doing something. Okay, anyway, what's going on? We're getting ready to do Charlie Chan in Honolulu, 1938.
Correct, hopefully.
What's that?
Politically correct, hopefully.
Oh, listen. Anytime you talk about movies from the 30s or 40s,
man,
especially a Charlie Chan or something like that, it's. I think it's the reason why Turner Classic Movies actually won't play Charlie Chan films.
Interesting.
I think they're a bit embarrassed on what all that's about, but they do play some like that, but they've got to be like top quality. You know, Charlie Chan is kind of like a B kind of movie for back then, you know.
It is.
Yeah, but listen, these are just wonderful films, and for a laugh, for comfort, for mystery, for detective. It's all just great. I love it.
Yeah, check, and check.
Yes.
Because I loved rewatching. This is probably about my third watch of Honolulu, and it makes me smile. It makes me laugh. It is. I knew Ed Stewart was going to say that. It is the first time that we
Sidney
have
Toler.
Chan after Warner Oland's passing, and I think he does a fantastic job. This is my favorite Charlie Chan.
Really? Okay. Listen, it's up there. It's another one that takes place on a ship. Like Edward Stewart said there. Yes, this is his first appearance, and it comes right in and does the role perfectly. I mean, from this one to the last one he makes, there's no difference.
No.
Like the character is the same. And
the character is.
What's that?
The character is, but here we don't have Mantan Moreland yet. And that to me is the secret ingredient. It is the sauce on the Big Mac. It is the icing on the cake. I love Mantan Moreland.
Oh, me too. Listen, who doesn't like Mantan Moreland? And I think a lot of people should know who he is. If you don't, he's the sidekick. He's a very funny black comedian of the 1930s, 40s. He played in a lot of movies, but was mostly a sidekick in the Charlie Chan films. He was always with Charlie Chan's son, and they would always play off of each other. And I think when Mantan Moreland came in, he made more of the movie as good as it was. Listen, of course, Sidney Toler made them all great, but it seemed like there was a difference in the later movies in the 40s, reaching up to the late 40s, and bringing in Mantan Moreland, just made those movies just that much better. The earlier ones didn't really need that sidekick because they were great on their own. You know what I mean? Not as much comical elements to it, but when he comes in, it certainly is that 100%. And Mantan Moreland is a character, that's for sure. Hey, Black Roses, what's going on?
I was also surprised to see the big Charlie Chan clan at the beginning of the film.
Yes.
There's something like 13 people having dinner together, which, I mean, it's tough enough to get 4 people together for dinner. But
Yeah.
now it's like you've got 13, they're chit-chatting, they're having fun, and then they start harassing the older brother who wants to follow in his father's footsteps.
Oh, I love it. I love the interaction between the family. Charlie Chan, and listen, me and Dave are going to talk these Charlie Chan movies no matter what. I guess they're not very popular with what I don't know why. It's mystery. It's a detective. Charlie Chan is great. But the people who are here, thank you. Give a thumbs up, please. Check out the description below for Dave's link, all that good stuff. But we will continue to talk and go through all these movies. I love it. Harry Scott, Hi Boy Donuts to you. I do like Charlie Chan had 13 kids and 16 grandkids at this point.
Just one grandkid.
No, I thought he said 16. No?
Yeah, this was his first one. That was why
It was his first son?
That's why the subplot.
Can I go back and erase that part?
Yes, you can.
Oh, can I? Oh, okay. I put down, I could have sworn that's what he said. Okay, but yeah, okay. So his oldest daughter is married to the son-in-law that's in this.
Yes.
And yeah, there's all kinds of excitement. And he gets a phone call about, his daughter's about ready to have a kid.
Yep.
And the whole family's like running around and stuff. I think my favorite part at the dinner too is not just the cards. We can talk about that too, because that's I love that. You can talk about that. But when he does get the phone call and he rushes to the hospital. And I love that when they're all just like sitting there, standing. And one of the very younger kids say, come on. He goes, come on, come on. And then they all take off and leave anyways to the hospital. It took that little kid to say. And we also do get Tommy Chan, who was in Murder Cruise. I think the last one we did Murder Cruise. So he's in this one too as well. So yeah, but the cards, Dave, I thought that was very funny. Talk about that. That's
well, this number one son is like, I want to follow in your footsteps, Dad, and being associated just with your name is going to make me famous. And just because you're who you are, I have your knowledge in my head because I've been watching you. And so he's all, look, Dad, he goes, I want an office, a hat rack, and a desk. And I've already made business cards. And the business cards say Tommy Chan. And then underneath it in italics, associated with Charlie Chan. And then it's like investigations and bill collecting. Like if all else fails, I'll help do bill collecting.
He'll do that too. Yeah. I love that he did put Jimmy Chan or James Chan associated with the detective Charlie Chan. So he uses his father's name, which was kind of funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I do love the fact that he wants so much to be a detective, just like his father, and follow in his footsteps. So,
and this is a theme we see in a lot of Sidney Toler's films is that, this guy wants to be a detective. Dad, can I come with you?
Yeah.
And of course the dad says no, and he always follows anyway.
Oh yeah, always. You would think Charlie Chan would catch on at some point and say, well, I guess that he could tell him to stay home, but he's going to come anyways. But that's the joy of this all. We get a good cast again in this. They're all great. Judy Hayes, the main female character, and Claire Wayne. They're both beautiful women. Judy Hayes is. Oh, go ahead. What?
Let's just call her by her real name, Phyllis Brooks, who I would have been happy to have a child with had I been around in 1938.
Yeah, me too. I mean, if we got along and all that.
Woman. Oh my God.
What if she was just a mean-spirited, woman who just was on your back all the time and whipped you and, all that terrible thing.
I would then have left her for that other girl that I liked. For her name, she was in Topper Returns. Ed Stewart would know.
Oh, Myrna Loy, yeah.
Not Myrna Loy. Well, I'd go out with her too.
Myrna Loy's probably top on the list for me. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to look this
But anyways, yeah, she's Judy Hayes is very, very beautiful in here. And Claire Way in this too. Both those actresses in here are very, very. But I wanted to mention that you get another character in here, George Henderson, who plays the ship's captain's, mate, whatever. He's an. Oh, go ahead, Dave. What's
Joan
the actor?
Blondell. Joan Blondell
Joan
is the person I'm
Blondell.
thinking of. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, listen, I can throw out Fay Ray too. Listen, she's one
You
that
can have Fay Ray. That's fine.
she's like tops on the list during King Kong era. Woo! Beautiful. Anyways, George Henderson. I told you this before that in a lot of these Charlie Chan films, there's always, for some reason, a man or an actor who is so bad at acting, it's not even funny. George Henderson, again, who plays the mate to the captain, his number one, is so monotone, it's not even funny. I mean, he's like, "What do you mean, Charlie? You must leave her alone. You can't do that to her. Please, she did not do anything." And it just drives me nuts.
I noticed that especially at the time where he was being blackmailed by Carol Wayne, where she's all like, "You passed a gun." "No, I did not."
Yeah, it's always, not always, but most of the time there's a character like that in here. And we're going to be introduced to like a detective who's pretending to be a detective later on, who's got the criminal with him, who is let me get his name because I want to be sure. McCoy. His name is McCoy. Johnny McCoy. He's the criminal that the detective who's on the ship, and there's only 6 passengers on the ship because it's a freighter ship. And Johnny McCoy went on to be 95 years old, and his face would be recognized in a lot of these Sherlock Holmes, Charlie Chan, a lot of the mystery films back in the 30s and 40s. And Johnny McCoy, he's got that face. Like George Raft, George Zuko, who's in this too, all have faces and repeat their roles in a lot of these old mystery films too. So just had to mention that because he's just got that voice, that look, and him when you see him. A lot of gangster films too, but
And you wonder too, like when I see someone who does so many films and very similar roles, that they absolutely love it. And you wonder, like, how much time does it take them to rehearse? Are they just a phone call away going like, "Hey, can you be in this film next week? And can you meet me there?" And
oh yeah, well, they just whipped them out. Yeah, they're part of the that's the good thing about back in the day. I mean, listen, I'm sure there were lots of bad things back in the day in the 30s and 40s when the studios just started up, like Paramount and RKO and all these film companies. They had a group of actors and actresses that they would pull into their company, and they would sign contracts.
Yes.
So they were like rotating actors and actresses who, anytime they needed somebody, they could really reach out and say, "Hey, this film needs a character on this way. Would you like playing this role?" So it made that era, and the faces you connect with through those films, a lot of them were the same. You know what I mean? So kind of a cool thing.
In a way, Dan Curtis did the same thing in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Had his standard group of actors.
Yeah. I think a director during the later decades and stuff like that ended up, even back then, you work with certain actors and actresses, you get along, you're going to bring them into your projects and stuff like that. But this is just a fantastic Charlie Chan. I love how
I wanted to argue one thing.
Okay.
And it's against IMDb. So IMDb says that this film is a 6.7.
Huh.
And I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think it is at least a 7.5 to 7.8.
You know what? Chris Lee, I love this channel. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love it too. It's a great channel. Thank you, Chris Lee. 6.7. I would say this. I don't think people get, some people, I think the people who are invested in old mystery like Sherlock Holmes Mr. Moto, Charlie Chan. If you get what I'm saying, it doesn't matter if there's some like George Henderson. He's a bad actor. He's his roles, but it's kind of the warmth and the love of the movie that you end up liking those things.
Sure.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Giallo films where I fell in love a couple years ago with Giallo, Italian horror, where the voices are dubbed and it just sometimes it's so funny, but it ends up becoming something that endures you to that genre and you end up loving it. I think it's the same thing with some of the movies back then. They weren't
probably with those Godzilla people.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
there
like
you go.
Godzilla films with the, with look at this monster it's facing, and look at the bad dubbing, and look at the bad city of Tokyo that's going to be destroyed. But
and I wonder, I never looked at the Godzilla. Like, what did some of those movies get with their IMDb? Because
I'm not sure. Yeah,
it's got their cult following, but I think overall, when people even now, different generations start to give their reviews and their ratings on IMDb and all that, they look back in a different way than maybe people who love it like we do, or the people back then looked at these movies.
Well, I even think more so on a rainy day, because this is something that if I had a day off and maybe I was doing cleaning or maybe I was doing some rearranging or whatever, I'm going to throw on some Charlie Chan's, because they are those comfort films. They are those films that you don't need to watch every minute of.
No.
And
well, because you watch it so many times, and you catch a scene as you're doing work. You catch a scene, you go, "Oh, okay, I love that scene." It's just, yes, 100%. I think that's how because I've seen it probably over 100 times. I'm sorry I really have.
Yes, and sir, that's hilarious. Yes, you killed my brother. And it doesn't match up at all. But,
yeah, the dubbing is fantastic.
Yeah. So one thing too that the film starts out, we should probably start talking about the film since we're already 20 minutes in. The cool thing is that they're having lunch, and the brother or the son-in-law comes in, and he's dressed up very formal. Seems to be like 40 years old, even though he's probably 25.
I know, right?
Has the cane, has the hat. Oh, dear honorable father-in-law, I'm letting you know that Mei Ling is at the hospital in the maternity ward, and she's going to be having a baby. And the mom goes crazy. Woo, we're going to have a baby. And Charlie Chan goes, "Relax, mama." And he calls her mama like 3 times.
Oh, I love it.
And he's all, you've gone through this, with each of these kids. And she's all, "Yes, but this is my first grandbaby." And so they're all,
not the 16th. Yeah.
Not the 16th. So we're going to go to the hospital, regardless of what the doctor says. Doctor says, "I don't want family members there yet." Family members are all, "We're going tough." And as they leave,
well, and like I said, that's when the young, really young kid who doesn't never say a word, I think this is the only time you see him, says, "Come." And they all go.
Yeah.
Because they were told not to. But anyways, yeah.
So the phone rings, and Tommy Chan answers the phone. And it's like, "Hey, there's been a murder on board this ship, and we need Inspector Chan to go and check it out." And he goes, "Okay, I'll give him the message," which of course would never happen in real life, right? You're not going to tell this kid, "Hey, show up to Queen Bee, Perth number 573, Docking Bay 94 type of thing." So
what's the Star Trek? Oh, geez.
Star Wars, thank you.
Star Wars. Okay, Docking Bay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of telling the dad, he tells number 1 son, saying, "Hey, I've got a lead for a murder."
Jimmy, this is a way to make you famous. Take on the case. You're a good detective. I do like how Tommy looks up to Jimmy and, and says, "You can do it. You can do it." You know what I mean?
And he says, "And you can take me with you."
Yes. He goes, "No, this is no place for a kid," but he's going to go and impersonate his father, Charlie Chan. And what always happens, though, Dave, is
yeah, that's right.
He does help him. Listen, what always happens is he would never be able to take on a case by himself. But that's the enduring part of Charlie Chan. His son always there to help him. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Do you remember how Tommy got to the ship with his brother?
Go ahead.
He was hanging on to the spare tire at the back on the back of the car. Now imagine you got a 1938 convertible car.
Yeah.
And number one, son's driving and totally fake background and everything like that.
Yeah.
But on the back is this
Tommy,
little 8-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid who, if he lets go, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it's so funny. And he's looking all over and
times have changed, Dave, but I love it.
It has. You can't even ride in the back of a pickup anymore.
No, that was funny. That was very, very funny. I did love seeing him do that, Tommy. And it's a shame because I think those were the only two murder crews in this movie where you see him, or there might be one other one. I don't know, very briefly, but they could have included Tommy in more movies, but they didn't. So it is what it is. But the call was to a freighter, the Susan B. Jennings, where a man was murdered. Thus, Jimmy is off. Comes to little boat, I guess, they're bringing Jimmy, who is supposed to be Charlie, to the big boat.
They bring him alongside. Well, I'm sure a little tugboat action there.
Where was Tommy?
And hello,
Tommy hanging off the side too? I don't know.
Maybe taking in some water there.
Was the trap late 1940s? Yeah, I think maybe late 1940s, 48, 49, something like that. But yeah, and then he ended up passing away soon after. Yeah, kind of sad. Too early for Sidney Toler too. But anyways, so they make it to the ship and he boards it, and he's this young college student looking kid, and the captain believes him to be Charlie Chan. He goes, I thought you'd look younger,
He did go up to say, like, I'm actually Charlie's son, but then the captain's all, I thought you'd be younger or older, whatever, and all that. And so he's all, I'm just gonna go with it. And he does.
Yeah. Catch us up, Dave. Yeah, we're not sorry. We were just BSing, right? That's
then
all right.
We meet George Zucco, and he plays Dr. Cardigan. And it cracked me up because every time I heard that name, I thought of a sweater.
Exactly.
And Dr. Cardigan plays this very suspicious person. He grabs the guy's head and he starts pulling back his eyes because he's this doctor and everything. And
he's a psychologist.
Something like that.
Something. And he's got the big glasses, Coke bottle kind of, where his eyes are real big, and supposedly he's deaf. Which we'll find out he's not deaf, because when Charlie Chan comes aboard, he's already on to him, and he throws a coin over there, and he turns around, so he's not deaf. So right again, all these movies, there's always everybody's suspicious, everybody's got a motive. So in that respect, they do a great job at kind of throwing you off a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's very true. I mean, it's usually maybe 6 months in between me seeing these movies, and I always forget who was that person,
Okay.
Who was the guilty party. And then it's like, oh, it's this person because of this. I remember now.
Yeah.
But also when he throws the money, like a silver dollar on the ground, and George Zucco turns around, and Charlie Chan had this great quote, like, no one is deaf to the sound of money,
Right.
Something very philosophical.
Oh, there's always good lines, Confucius type lines in the movie and all that. We didn't.
CM is here. Hello, CM.
Yeah. Hey, CM, what's going on? Good to see you. And Chad Farr, how you doing? Mention movie night on Friday. So I will be, there is a poll, and I think it's already blown out of the water. I think it is going to be Hellraiser 3 for Friday. So if you're a channel member or a Patreon member, I'll be doing those. Connie's been doing the Friday nights, and if I can't do a Friday night, I will always throw it over to Connie to do a Friday night movie night. I think she has Wednesday night movie nights too, don't you, Connie? But anyways, if you do, I think you do. You told me you did. Let me know. I could always post those for Wednesday nights too. But yeah, I'm going to have Friday night, and it's probably going to be Hellraiser 3. I haven't seen that in forever. That's going to be fun. But yeah, so Jimmy Chan, I love when Charlie hasn't gotten aboard yet and Jimmy Chan is there. He's taken down. Well, first of all, he's taken everywhere. He's shown the crime scene, you know, and he is doing a pretty good job.
I was just going to say, he's not doing a bad gig. You know, he's like, I want to see the body. I want to talk to all the witnesses. You know, they hang out in the captain's quarters, and here comes Becca Tootal.
Becca Tootal, 6'1". Hi, everybody. This was my second Charlie Chan film, and I really enjoyed it. How is everybody tonight? Doing good, Becca Tootal. I think you said 6'1", right, Dave? Am I wrong? Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Becca is too tall. Anyways, good to see you. It's always good to see the regular people in the chat. Yeah. CBS Radio Mystery Theater tonight. Got timestamps and everything for you. Trying to make it spooky. We got some ghost stories in there, so going to be a good one tonight. Anyways, yeah, doing a great job, and also taken to, well, he starts to interrogate Judy Hayes, who I guess we should talk about the plot.
Yeah, I'd like to interrogate her too.
Dave, you're getting worse than me. Stop it.
That's pretty bad. I'm sorry.
What?
Anyway, yeah, so Phyllis,
I got my Honolulu letter opener, Dave. That's 25 years old.
I had
got
no
that
idea.
when I was a teen. Yeah.
Wow.
Still got it after all these years. Okay, anyways. Yes, I knew it was 6'1". Yeah, there you go.
So Phyllis Brooks, aka Judy Hayes in this film, is transferring $300,000 to this one guy. And the guy basically would take off his wedding ring as the clue. Here's the wedding ring. Oh, here's the briefcase of $300,000.
Yeah.
And the next thing we know is that the guy is dead.
Yes. So she was brought aboard to give the man that was aboard. He didn't even have a name, did he?
No, because she was very like, no, I'm doing this for my boss, and I can't divulge why the money transfer, and I can't, you know.
And we do find out that he was the husband of the other girl on the ship, Claire.
Yes.
Claire Wayne.
Yes. Carol Wayne.
Is it Carol Wayne?
Yeah, Claire Dodd is her real name.
Claire Dodd, Carol Wayne. Okay,
yeah.
Carol Wayne. Thank you. I don't want to get that wrong. But yeah, and he ends up dead. The captain has taken the $300,000 and put it in the safe.
Right.
Because Judy Hayes divulged that she had this money and she was supposed to give it to somebody. And then he suddenly died, so it's there in his safe. And that's when Charlie Chan was supposed to come, but Jimmy Chan comes and goes to the room. But I love the interrogation scene just because I love her defending herself. She looked so beautiful, and I just wanted to pet her hair and say sorry.
Yeah, it was very noir as well. I thought it's just one of those, you know, Pursuit to Algiers types of things where you have the beautiful woman, captain of the ship, interrogator, and you have people on the outside by the portholes, like listening in. Because on one corner you've got, you know, Carol Wayne, and on the other corner you've got George Zuko.
Yes, I need a Charlie Chan versus Fu Manchu. Oh gosh, there wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be close. Chad Farr, Charlie Chan's up here, Fu Manchu's down here. Although, listen, it's just because there wasn't as much Fu Manchu. If you want to go to the novels, okay. We could talk about all of those too, and well, I mean, not this show. We're talking about the movie, but Fu Manchu novels were just as good as the Charlie. Well, I like the Charlie Chans much more than the Fu Manchus, but it's not even close when it comes to the movies. That's for sure. WTF Horror and Sci-Fi, and sounds good, Connie. Also, I should mention to you guys, If you're not over on Dino Brickhaven, please go over to, I'm sorry, Dave, go over to Dino Brickhaven, my Lego channel. I've got a city update over there again. Going to be doing the live streams, Harry and everybody who was hanging around, Chris W, all you people. They're going to be over there. They are going to start, they're starting tomorrow, Monday through Friday, and there will be old time radio shows that I play while I'm building. So if you want that experience still, it's on Dino Brickhaven. I should put the link in there, but just look up Dino Brickhaven. It should pop up Lego. I would appreciate people subbing to that. Thank you very much. What were you going to show me, Dave?
I was going to show you some Fu Manchu books since you brought them up. You brought up the novels. Again, these are kind of like
paperback
Charlie Chan films.
Yeah.
In that there's a lot of them. They're very, very similar. A few different characters, but I mean, there's at least a dozen, 15 of them. I got the Hand of Fu Manchu. I've got, the Island of Fu Manchu. There's the Wife of Fu Manchu. I mean, there is so many great, and it's that kind of mass-produced Hardy Boy experience where it's just slightly different, but it's enough to like make you happy.
Yes, in novel form. I mean, we did get movies throughout the years, but nothing near what we got from Charlie Chan or Sherlock Holmes. You know?
And I didn't really care for the Fu Manchu films as much. I love Mr. Wong.
Yeah,
I think the Mr. Wong films are great, but
I would say, oh my gosh, people don't. Charlie Chan and Sherlock Holmes and. Sherlock Holmes, Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce. I think nothing beats them. That's just my favorite of all time. All those films. And then you got Charlie Chan, which is right behind that. And I know we got a movie to talk about, but thank you, Connie, for the link there. Please, everybody, hit that link, Dino Brickhaven, and go subscribe to my other channel. I'm trying to grow it. It's so hard to grow a new channel. And again, I'm going to do long streams, 4 hours of building Legos and stuff. I talk a little bit, and then I play an old time radio show. So please go over there and sub to that if you haven't. But Charlie Chan's right after that. And I got to tell you, there were only, were there 4 or 6? Mr. Moto with Peter Lorre. 4 movies, 6 movies?
Maybe only 4. I don't think there's very many.
I think there's just 4 movies of Mr. Moto. I can be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I really think that's my 3rd favorite out of all of the, like, those detective type, movies back in the day. There were very few of them, but I loved them so much. Peter Lorre played it so good. And yeah.
Okay. All right.
I know.
We're going off on some tangents here.
Why not?
I want to touch on the East Side Kids, the Bowery Boys.
Sure.
Same type of thing. And that's one group of films we haven't touched yet, but maybe something in the fall we're definitely going to do, especially with maybe a Bela Lugosi in there. Maybe not Spook Louder. That's Spooks Run Wild.
Yes.
I think that would be a fun one for us to do. And what do you think about Bob Hope, like My Favorite Brunette? With Peter Lorre and Dorothy Lamour.
Yeah, Chad Farr, that's so cool. I've not read one of those novels, but I'll search now. You mean the Charlie Chan? Chad Farr?
I think it's Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu? Okay, so maybe he's just talking to movies, hasn't read the books. Okay. Listen, there's a play. Everything on this channel usually revolves around detectives, mysteries, or horror, But I got to tell you, what is right up there is the comedy, and the comedy of Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, how they did all those movies and stuff like that. I'm a big fan, a big fan of all of those types of movies. So yeah, I mean, you could catch me watching so many different movies between 30 and 40s because I just love those 2 eras. And comedy is, why do you think I tried starting a comedy channel, but it just got too difficult? But anyways, yeah, Bob Hope's great. And he's from right here in Ohio, right in here in Cleveland area where I'm at. So yeah, there you go. There was I think it was the Playhouse Square, or it could have been the State Theater. I remember going on a field trip there when I was a kid, and we were taken up to the backstage area where all the artists who came and performed there would write on the back wall. And you had all the great actors, because we had a great theater district back in the day and still do. But Bob Hope's etched in the wall, like with a sharp instrument, and then was signed over with, so he's got all his stapled signature right on the back wall there. It was just so very cool, very cool.
All right, J.O.B. If I were to watch an old black and white film tonight, what would you suggest?
Well, what mood are you in, J.O.B.? Are you in the mood for a comedy, a mystery, or a horror? How about that? I mean, a black and white, that is so like broad that I don't even know what to say. You got to give me a genre. And thank you, Chad Farr. Hopefully he enjoys the builds, or at least my city. If you do the watch along to just what I do, and I keep doing every couple weeks to the new city. Like right now, I just moved to Parisian Hotel, a restaurant next to the park, and made a walkway to the restaurant. It looks so good. Anyways, I know we're getting off topic here of Charlie Chan. But give me a topic. Anyways, 30s and 40s comedy was the best. Listen, and even the 20s. I mean, Laurel and Hardy, I could watch them over and over and over and over. Three Stooges, you name it. Arsenic and Old Lace, period. Chad Farr, oh my God. Well, you know what? That's not a bad pick.
It is good.
Yes, not a bad pick at all. If one black and white movie you had to pick right on the spot, Arsenic and Old Lace can be it. Yeah. I'm in an old school mood tonight. Watch that, J.O.B. Black Sheep Billy, love the Miss Marple movies with Margaret. Yes.
I'm also with.
Go ahead.
I'm because we're such big Humphrey Bogart fans.
Yeah.
I might also throw in Casablanca.
Yes, I mean Casablanca is one of my all-time favorite films ever. So yeah.
And if you like comedy, you can't beat The Ghost Breakers.
Nope.
So those are our three. Decide on those and report.
There you go. Yeah, perfect, Dave. All three, great ones. Okay, so let's get back to this film. We could listen. We could whip through this quick, anyways, because we
can just talk about our favorite parts because it's so good.
Oh yeah. Listen, we're introduced to once Jimmy Chan's in that the room looking at the dead body, the victim. He notices the labels off of the suit, so nobody could identify him, and his identification was gone. But then you hear the roaring of a lion, and here you find out there's a big down. Go ahead.
There's a circus on board.
Yes, underneath.
And it's in a room connected to the room where the dead body is.
It's weird that, well, listen, this is a freight ship.
True.
So again, like he said, not too many passengers on the ship, 6 passengers. So I can see that there was a suite, but the suite did lead, you had to go through the suite, through the door, and you can't forget Maltese Falcon, of course. Yes, that's in the top. If you're in the mood for noir or something like that, yeah, that's the movie to go to. And you go through the door, and then it takes you down below where all the circus animals are, and the sidekick in this film.
So good.
Oh yeah. His name is Al Hogan. And he's that, he's got that quick talking, like mumbling kind of, and he's short and fat, and I can say fat. He's short and fat, and that's his fun. And he's got this lion who's Oscar, and even the captain goes, "It's Oscar." It's Oscar. And he goes, "Who's Oscar?" And then Al Hogan comes running up saying, "There's a ghost." Okay, anyways, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, okay. So a couple of things with Oscar.
All over the place.
All right. So Oscar the lion is amazing. And I don't know, honestly, if it's a real lion or parts of it with like a person inside, because
it's a real lion.
I think the lion is another character in the film. And this guy, Al, it's like this is his pet.
Yeah.
And they go everywhere together and they sleep in the same bed.
Oh.
So Al's like asleep over here and the lion's asleep over here. And they're just like, whatever. And he's all, go to bed,
I love when he's in such a mood and he takes him off the ship when they're quarantined. Charlie Chan says, nobody off the ship. But he comes out with a lion. Of course, nobody's going to stop him, So he's at, getting off the ship. And I know we're jumping ahead a little bit. He's at the end of the ship and the lion's sitting there and they say, you can't leave. And they run off. But then a monkey starts to throw like cantaloupe at the lion's head.
That was so great. And it was like, and you see the lion and you see the cantaloupe bouncing off and the lion gets pissed and he takes off after takes off after the monkey.
And Al starts to wrestle with him and fight him.
Pulls his tail.
Yeah, and then the lions like got him and they're wrestling and I'm like going, Al's gonna die. But he didn't.
There is one part where it's very Siegfried and Roy where, where he's just like, he's getting them and
oh yeah.
And they break up his friends, and that's it. Oh.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm like, wow. But J.O.B. You've never seen Ghostbreakers. You've got to see it. If you're a fan of the era, I mean, and everything I love on this channel, and Dave, and Ghostbreakers is a must see.
Yeah.
It's such a good film. And what's her name that plays in that, Dave? You remember again?
Oh, Paulette Goddard.
Yeah, Paulette Goddard. Yeah, we need to rank the femme fatales of the 40s, but would it just be us gushing for an hour and a half? Yeah, it might not work out. I don't know. Anyways, okay, so go ahead. The circus, all that stuff, and then Jimmy Chan's going to interrogate. I know we got to go quicker, but Jimmy Chan's got to interrogate the crew. And he's this young, skinny little, kid, and all these people are cutting up stuff. I've killed 5 men.
The only thing missing from that group, from that motley crew, is a guy with a hook.
Yes.
But it is exactly like you say. You've got this young Chinese kid who's dressed very nice, who's very smart, very clean shaven, and he's put in basically surrounded by these guys who probably haven't touched land or a woman in like 2 years. And I mean, they're grisly, they're rough, they don't quite speak English, they're cutting things with knives and stuff like that. And they're like 3 times as big as
Jimmy Chan.
Yeah. I keep wanting to call him James, but
yeah.
And he's like, he's gonna try. He's like, hey, what's your name? Okay, never mind.
Well, he gets in this thing where he mumbles a little bit too, like when he don't know what to do and he's like caught. He's like, and it's funny when he does that. It's part of his character, and it's something I like about Jimmy Chan's character in a lot of these movies. But Charlie Chan is on his way with the captain because he's like, there's my son. And I always like how he stares at him, lets him stay in trouble until the very end. Then he pops in.
And it's great because he arrives in just the nick of time because the crew has had enough of this guy. And they pick him up and they're about to throw him overboard. And Charlie Chan goes, wait a minute, hold on. He goes, Honolulu police did not like to deal with corpses in the bay here.
Yeah.
And let me put you down, and I'm the real Charlie Chan.
Right. And that's when we're introduced to Charlie. He comes and he takes over the case, and the captain. All these movies, they want to listen, please hurry up and solve this case. I want to get my ship out of here. If we don't leave in 1 day, you're gonna be in trouble. They'll sue
hear from my superior.
Yeah. But he comes in, starts to take over everything. And that's when he throws the quarter. He figures out Cardigan right away. There's a detective that shows up. He says, yeah, I'm Detective Arnold. who is not a detective. He's a fake. And he's holding on to the criminal who he says is in his custody from Shanghai. He's got him and he's bringing him back home. And his name is Johnny McCoy, like I said earlier. And he's holding on to the criminal, but the fake detective, Charlie Chan, picks up on him immediately. I like the camera shots between Charlie Chan's face, watching how he's acting, because he immediately knows this isn't how a detective acts. He's using criminal lingo, all this other stuff, and he knows that,
Oh yeah. And I was expecting the entire time until the very end for him to go, I actually know the real, so-and-so from this, from San Francisco police. We worked together on an earlier case or something like that.
Right.
But
Zoinks, Scoob.
And he does. I'm surprised Charlie let him work with him, knowing that he could possibly smudge fingerprints, that he could possibly ruin evidence. But I mean, he was pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing with Charlie Chan. He knows what he's doing. He allows these people to come in and do what they do, just because he learns a lot from their actions and the way they're going about their business on the ship and stuff. This happens every single episode, which distinguishes him as a great detective, whether you're reading the novel or watching the movie.
Now, George Zuko's character also is just really creepy throughout the film.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
And
almost a little bit of horror thrown in for a few minutes.
There was. And, Tommy, the number 5 son, is looking around the corner, and George Zuko's like, I see you. And Tommy just starts whistling, and he's walking down the corridor, just don't look at me. You can't see me. I'm acting normal. And he looks back. That. George Zuko's looking at him. And at the time when Charlie comes on the boat, he kind of gives him a spanking and sends him home, just kind of rescues him from the rest of the episode.
Oh yeah, always a spanking to the younger ones. He gives Tommy he was going to give Tommy a spanking in Murder Cruise, but the captain came in, and
said, just in time.
Broke that up. But yeah, it is funny that Cardigan, and we talked about a little bit of horror was thrown in there, because he's got this big box in his room, his suite, where you open it up and he's got a brain in there, and he says, "Oh, good, it's still alive." And he goes, "It's don't worry, Mr. Chan, it's a criminal brain." And he says the criminal he got it, from. I just thought it was very cool.
That makes it better.
Oh, right.
And then when I start thinking about it, I don't want a criminal brain alive.
Right.
I want a smart person, a nice person.
Well, listen, Dr. Cardigan is a weird individual, and he's much like a lot of these people who are into true crime and stuff like that. They're interested in the intricacies of the criminal mind, right, and what makes a man do what he does. And he talks about why I must know, so it gives him some kind of maniacal presence, which adds to his character, and it makes you think, oh, maybe he is, got something to do with this killing and stuff like that. But I do like that. But I also wonder, how did he get away with it? He was in everybody's suites, and he ended up in Claire's suite right after she ended up dying, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes here.
All right.
He's in the victim who died suite, and never has.
He didn't seem to lock that door either. Just Tommy came in, hid in the closet. Cardigan comes in, just looks at the body, and then the captain and Charlie come in, and it's just it's not secure anywhere on that boat.
Oh yeah. No, it's free reign for them. But then they end up going to where do they go from here? Let's see. We're also Charlie Chan says nobody can leave the ship and all that. And Carol wants to go make a phone call. So Carol wants to get off the ship. Judy wants to get off the ship, and they both want to make phone calls. Meanwhile, the money's missing. Meanwhile, Charlie Chan found a paperclip of a $10,000 ring, paper wrapper for the money in Dr. Cardigan's room. Right. So he slipped that in his pocket, which makes you go,
Judy's got $10,000 in her room.
Yes, that George Henderson goes, Judy, I just wanted to check your room because I don't want nothing to happen to you. So, George Henderson, a bad actor. But he loves Judy, I guess. And he gave her a gun earlier too, which we should point out, to defend herself because she had all this money on her.
Right.
And I didn't want to bring that up.
And Carol Wayne saw that.
Yes.
And she tries to blackmail as one of the ways to get her off the boat to make that call.
Yeah, well, for a second there, Dave, did you have the same thoughts as me? She pulls him over because George is, the first mate, and he goes, I can't have you do that. And she goes, there's nothing I can do to get you. And she pulls him up to the corner.
Totally.
I'm like, what is going on here? And then she says, I'm going to blackmail you.
I know.
My woman my age.
I was kind of let down when she said that.
I know. I'm like, wait a second. Can you imagine him going in a room? Anyways, like, come on. This is ridiculous. Okay. So that happens. So they're trying to get off the ship. And eventually the one who gets off the ship is Judy.
Right. Literally running off the ship.
Yeah. And Jimmy goes, stop her, and trips and falls in Jimmy Chan fashion. But yeah, she gets off. She goes and makes a phone call. She says to her employer, she didn't want, they needed to know. She said, I don't know. But oh my God. Yeah, we're jumping all over.
We are.
Carol Wayne. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking of it. Yeah. I'm going to get a poster of her too.
All right.
I'm going to get, okay.
I think we lost the chat because I haven't seen that move in about 5 minutes.
No, that's all right.
Do you have anyone even watching this show?
Listen, people aren't interested in Charlie Chan. I don't know what to say.
That's okay. Do we have any thumbs up?
We got 41 thumbs up. But, yeah, no, listen.
Thank you all last week for making Art Bell such a hit. Over 1,300 hits on that video, over 100 thumbs up, and I think there's well over 30 comments.
Oh yeah, no, it was a good show last week. It's just we mix it up every week, and I think that's fun. Yeah. I think it makes it fun. So going between Kolchak, Wild Wild West, and and we're throwing in the Charlie Chans, which I adore and I love. Black Sheep Billy, thumbs up. Hey, Black Sheep Billy, good to see you. Cord. 1959, I am. Thank you, Cord. Good to know you're here. I wish more people would chime in. But yeah, where are we at then? Where should we go from here?
Since we're at close to the top of the hour as well.
Yeah.
I want to point out that we are going to do another Art Bell.
Yes, we are.
We're going to be doing Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, can't wait to talk about that.
I can't wait to hear Dino talk about it. I've been, I know that's one of his more favorite topics. So
yeah, it'll make for a good show, especially with, I just finished season 4 and season 5 is just getting ready to start on the show Skinwalker Ranch. So hearing what they had to say back then, Bob Bigelow and Nids, it'll be interesting to intermingle what's going on there. Which there's a lot going on there. But anyways, how about an Art Bell Lego build? Well, I've got an Art Bell Lego video. I should do an updated one of something else, a different scene. But anyways, you can find that. Overkill with an O. Thank you. WWM is here. 44 thumbs up. Thank you. Dino, above your Lego city, you should have Lego UFOs flying overhead. It's not a bad idea. Listen, my biggest thing is going to be around Halloween when I want to build off to the right. There's 2 more tables going up where there's going to be Lego haunted house up on a hill. It's going to be my first attempt to make a little hill, put the haunted house on there, and a giant cemetery in front of it with some of my favorite characters, like little monster figures and stuff like that. That's going to be a scene, man. Anyways, stay tuned for that on Dino Brickhaven, my Lego channel. Anyways, what did we say? Oh, so we're going to be doing Art Bell. We got, of course, Wild Wild West coming up, Kolchak.
And
It feels like forever since we did a Kolchak, Dave.
Yeah, are we doing a Kolchak next week?
I don't know. Are we?
No,
no, we got Columbo next week. Stitch and Crime?
Hold on.
Stitch and Crime?
That sounds right.
Yes. Stitch and Crime, and then I think Kolchak after that. Yeah.
I used to have a list.
Yeah, no, it's Columbo, a Stitch and Crime, I do believe, and then we can do the Kolchak after that.
Yeah, there's only about 5 more Kolchaks to go, and then we're done.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sad already. But anyways, yeah, people are being thrown up. We're coming up to like kind of the what would you call it? The climax. Yeah,
I was going to call it the crux.
Okay, the crux of the matter.
There is an attempt on Charlie Chan's life that his son pushes him out of the way,
Yes.
and of course he goes, "Thank you very much." Picks himself up, and then the person throws the gun down the.
Yeah, what is that called? The port chute or the? I don't know, but the big tuba entrances that go down.
I don't know what that's for, but
for air circulation through the ship.
Chad has mentioned Scooby-Doo several times, and I just think of Shaggy and Scooby hiding in one of those and then moving it.
Listen, unfortunately, Lego don't have Scooby-Doo sets. They have rights to certain things, and then others they don't. So, but yeah, those are for air circulation throughout the ship and the lower levels and the decks and all that. So he throws the gun through that. It goes down and lands right on the bed between the Lion and Al. And I thought that was kind of funny. And he picks up the gun and moo and starts to run and mumble and oh my God, so takes it up.
They do ballistics tests on it. The fingerprints are smudged, and they're going to use it in capturing the person who is guilty at the very end.
Oh yeah. And I do like this ending. This is a very good ending, how they do that. Kolchak, the Night Stalker, always a great watch. Yeah, we've gone through every series episode except for 5. Black Sheep Billy. You can find a playlist on the front channel where we talk about every single episode so far. I think we're up to 16.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite so far?
I think it's the zombie episode. I'd have to look at the list again to jog my memory. But yeah, okay. So that ends up happening. Also up on
a fake fire.
We do have a fake fire, and it's it was an idea of Jimmy Chan to start a fire in a bathtub so that the ship would get all in an uproar, and he thought it would have the guilty person hurry up and leave the ship. And we could have caught him, but boy, that was the stupidest thing to do ever. I mean,
it was, and it was silly. It backfired, and the dad knows the son did it because in the debris it has his business cards that he left.
Yes. Janine Eastman, holy heck, has it been a while since I've seen you on the channel. Was watching the Clutching Hands serial from 1936. Very nice. Sorry I missed most of this. That's all right. The good thing is you can always go back and watch from the beginning if you so choose. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I always watch our shows during the week as well.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So Johnny McCoy is up on the deck where the raft is, and the suitcase of money is found there.
It's called a lifeboat.
Lifeboat. What did I say? A raft?
Raft.
I was thinking George Raft.
I know
See
you were.
how things, swirl around in your brain. Mine's like a big stew, and things get, the potatoes bump into the carrots. And anyways, the lifeboat has the suitcase there, and Johnny McCoy gets
I don't
it.
know why he went to the lifeboat anyway, for rope or whatever. That was weird. But he finds a suitcase, and the suitcase is filled with money.
Yeah, missing $10,000 though,
That's true.
which was planted in Judy Hayes's room in her life jacket, which George Henderson found earlier, which Cardigan had the paper wrap for. So everybody's guilty. But George Henderson sees him, Johnny McCoy, and a fight ensues, and fisticuffs break out. And I always love a good fisticuff.
Especially in the 1930s.
Yes. A lot of times they sound like slaps.
They do. And I love when they get hit and they travel back 20 feet.
Well, listen, not everybody's a boxer, you know what I mean? So I'd like to see them. Well, I like the punches from some of these where it's the punch like this from the side, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
And then I always wonder too, will some of these tricks really, really work in life? Because, for instance, when they realize that they don't realize, Charlie Chan already knows that one guy is the crook and the other guy who is playing the detective is a crook as well.
Yeah.
They handcuff each other. He goes, "You're handcuffed. I'm handcuffed to you." And Charlie Chan goes, "Can I see the key to that?" And the guy hands over the key and he goes, "Good. You're both under arrest."
Yes. And he pulls out a flyer that says,
"Pulls out the wanted poster."
Yeah. He says, "I've had this. I got this. It's Mike Hennigan. He's a wanted criminal," but he knew that from the beginning. But yeah. Yeah, and then we get, he's proof of fingerprints on the gun. He tells everybody to go to the captain's quarters.
Yes.
And he enlists the help of Dr. Cardigan, who goes to the room with him to do something. He's hooking up the shelf with, no, I like this. What's with the attitude? What's with the attitude?
Sorry.
Oh, or is it excitement? I don't know. Go ahead.
It's not excitement, it's attitude.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't like it. I don't understand it. Charlie Chan has this string, right? And he ties it up to this cabinet, and then he runs the string down and he runs it over. It's like a chutes and ladders type of thing, because everything has to work perfectly. And then what? You're not going to see the string? I don't buy that. And then Cardigan picks up the gun and points it at Charlie Chan. And why does he do that if he's not going to be the crook? And I thought at this point, I'm like, oh, wow, it was Dr. Cardigan. It was George Zuko who did it. And the episode's going to end, but it doesn't. Yeah. He just puts the
kibosh on it. Listen, I understand where you're coming from. I thought, okay, so he wanted to catch Cardigan, but then you tell yourself, why is he trying to catch Cardigan if he's not the killer? So there's that. But what he ends up doing, tying the string to the camera that's in the shelf, is going to ultimately be what catches the criminal.
And yes, I understand that. I think it's brilliant, except there has to be a hole in the middle of the desk where he can put up the string.
I know.
I'm like, what, you got an emergency drill? You think you're Jim West or something?
Listen, he could, we didn't see everything. It could have happened,
I guess.
Or he could have hit it, good enough to where, they didn't see it. But yeah, Cardigan for some reason picks up the gun, and of course Charlie took all the bullets out, and he points it to. I don't understand why he did that either, because he's not the killer, and that was a little confusing. So anyways, but yeah, he's going to end up getting everybody back in the captain's quarters, where he starts to grill everybody. Yeah, that's when they find out. They rush in the suitcase. Here's the money. And Judy Hayes goes, "Yeah, that's the money." I love I love it.
Except for $10,000, which was put in
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And all of a sudden, the lights go out as they're.
Well, first
Go ahead.
there is some uncovering of the Carol Wayne being the dead man's spouse, and that she actually is in search of the money because she doesn't want her husband to get it in their divorce, and it was like money from overseas, from of course Shanghai, and her real name is Mrs. like Elise Hillman or something like that.
Yeah.
And basically her and the murderer conspired together to kill the husband. And then of course you don't want to ever conspire with the murderer because you're going to get killed as well.
Right. Yeah. And what ends up happening, I guess we can end this, the ending of the movie at least, and then talk about whatever else. Get your questions ready. No, I'm just, so the light goes out, the ruckus happens. Charlie Chan asks Cardigan again to go and develop the film from the camera that took a shot of whoever grabbed the gun. Ingenious.
Yeah. And I thought it was, from watching the movie Clue, I actually thought it was a gunshot at first. So when the guy picks up the gun, the camera bulb goes off, which, by the way, it's in a closed cabinet. So, anyway.
I know.
But it looks like a gunshot, but it's just the camera bulb. Then Charlie Chan says, hey, the thief is caught on film. And he gives Cardigan the back.
Well, he said trapped in the box. I like that.
Okay. Yes.
He said the killer is trapped in the box. Anyways, yeah.
Very, very Charlie Chan-ish.
Yeah.
And
they go back to develop the film, and Jimmy Chan's next film.
I love when he goes, Cardigan, go do this, and Cardigan runs out of the room and down the stairs, and Charlie just leans over to his son, go with him, and you bet, Pops, and he runs down the steps too, and then of course we have a dark room. Every episode it seems we do, Columbo, Kolchak, we have a dark room.
Yeah, well, you need to develop film. I mean,
and as soon as that film is developed, number one son takes it and runs upstairs, and
I love that.
Like, wait, hold on. And I thought for sure he was going to ruin the film, that it was going to be exposed to light, or it wasn't done setting or whatever, and he was going to ruin it, but he doesn't.
Oh no, Jimmy Chan was quick, man. He waited till the last second, knew it was done, and he took it and he ran it straight up to Pops. Pops, and hands him the thing, and who's on the picture? None other than the captain himself. And I guess his whole plot was, this woman comes on board, gives me the money, I put in the safe, $300,000. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to kill the guy that she was going to give it to, because he's in on what's going on. She had to divulge all that to him. She needed somebody to, tell that all to, and it ended up strangling her in her room, Carol Wayne, in her room, with a scarf, and Chan goes in a sailor's knot. So, also pointing the finger to him.
Yeah. But that reminded me of Sherlock Holmes and the House of Fear, when you had Captain whoever goes, it's done in a sailor's knot, and Sherlock Holmes is all, I can tie a sailor's knot. He goes, it doesn't prove anything.
Yeah. Well, because Sherlock Holmes is way, way, way more in depth than even Charlie Chan. Listen, Charlie Chan's good, but Sherlock Holmes is. He's almost a savant when it comes to, I mean, that's a good word for it, when it comes to detecting whatever. So, Charlie Chan shows the picture, and it's the captain picking up the gun. So the captain, that's why he had the money. He thought he was going to take the money and run and be rich forever and all that good stuff. And I guess he hid it in a lifeboat thinking nobody was going to find it there. Let's make a thorough search of the ship. That they went and look in there, Dave? Man, if I was in charge, see, I mean, listen, it's a movie, but yeah, I'm in charge. You're looking every square inch.
Would you, and I'm going to say yes myself to this question I'm going to ask. Would you absolutely love to be in a Charlie Chan film if you could go back in time?
I don't even want. Yes, I'll be George Henderson. What do you mean? I love you, dear. You are the love of my. Anyways, of course I would.
He doesn't even get to kiss her. There's no like.
I know. Yeah, in most of them. Yeah, in most of them, they're either a kiss, a hug, they're embracing. There wasn't even none of that. So yeah,
an engagement at least, but no.
Yeah, I don't think Judy cared for his acting, is what I think. But yeah, I would love to be in it. Listen, I went to film school. I would love to be doing parts of my own films itself, but that's a whole different other stuff. Yeah, but to be back, listen, if I go in a time machine and be in the 30s and 40s or even the 20s, I would do it in a second. We've talked about this many times, just to be part of culture back in the day. There's this Facebook group or page or group, I don't know what it is. I think it's a page, and it's shows all these videos that were taken back in like the early part of the century, and through all the technology we got now has cleared it up and colorized it. I always talk about no way should you colorize film, and I still think that for films, for movies,
right?
If it's a black and white movie, leave it black and white. You know what I mean? But in these like home movies, not home movies, video footage taken. Usually it's like a camera that was on the back of a truck and they're going down Main Street in a big city,
Sure.
and you get to see how things were in like 1920 or 1918 or something like that. 1912, they go way back.
I like the boardwalk pictures.
Yes, so you've seen them too.
Yeah.
All cleared up, colorized, and I think they get the speed just right to where it's normalized, and it looks so good, and I am just addicted to looking at that. It's almost like being transported back in time to that period. You know what I mean? I love it.
It is. It's, to me, what's bothersome is, when you see these, like, well, this movie today, 1938.
Yeah.
We were not even thought of at this time. Our parents were not alive at this time. That is how far in the future we are.
I know.
But it's just like you can reach out and still touch this, and these people make you laugh. And, I always wonder, I always get upset at how much film we've lost because it wasn't cared for or stored properly, or, thought that this would be important. But I think it's just just a fantastic film series with Charlie Chan.
Oh yeah. Again, I can't say enough, and that's why we're kind of touching on these movies and stuff like that, is because we love them. They're movies that make us feel good movies. Again, I guess, we're kind of similar in, I'm an old soul, where, that early part of the century, film, especially, actors, dress, architecture, everything, all of that stuff. We just love all of that. So being transported through the movies like this, and we love the detective stuff and comedy, even we talked about that too. Mm-hmm. But it's just something I just love, and I can watch it over and over and over and over. And I've watched every Charlie Chan and Sherlock Holmes, I think, over and over at least 100 times. I mean, every film. I mean, because like you said, a lot of times it's just in the background. You're catching part of the movie, and then you get caught up into it, and then you go back to work. It's just a great way to kind of enjoy these movies. That's for sure.
And I do wish there was a way that we could let them know how much we appreciate what they did, you know.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's Basil Rathbone, who probably wasn't the best person in real life,
Right.
but
Right.
Nigel Bruce was. And,
Oh,
you know, I mean, you've got these great actors, and just to tell, like, Hillary Brooke or, you know, the lady in today's episode, just how beautiful they were, you know.
oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
Mrs. Crabtree from
Little Rascals.
you know.
Oh, now that's a cutie. Yeah, Mrs. Crabtree. They all had a crush on her school teacher back in the day. Love it. No, it's fantastic, and I love everything. Like I said, I'm an old soul, so I don't know what to say. I love this stuff, and I like talking about it. And we should hit a Sherlock Holmes too eventually. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just there's not enough Sundays.
I know that's true. We get done what we can. I think we're good through August. We've got, like I said, Kolchak, Columbo, Wild Wild West. I think we got another Charlie Chan coming up. I think, or no? Did you
I
put
think
one in the
there was
list?
one. I think I actually did the House in the Desert or something like Castle in the
Yeah,
Desert.
Castle in the Desert. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's one to bounce around too, like with a lot of different actors and actresses and stuff. There's a lot going on in that one.
I think Lionel Atwill's in that one.
Yep, yep, yep. And a lot of different things are going on in that. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I was going to start talking about it. Yeah, I like when they put him. She puts him off into his own place to sleep in the back part of the mansion that is the castle in the desert. But anyways, we'll talk about that then. So yeah, I don't know, Dave. Anything else to talk about? Please go ahead and check out Dave's channel below in the description. Give a thumbs up. Be sure to check out Dino Brookhaven, my Lego channel, where I'll be streaming starting tomorrow all week long. I'm working on a couple different things. You'll find out tomorrow as I post it. But as I'm building, I'll play some old time radio. So it could be anything. Who knows? And that'll be fun. I'm really enjoying that hobby. And yeah, me and Dave will be back next Sunday for a Stitch and Crime.
That'd be perfect. Leonard Nimoy, Columbo, and Columbo gets pissed
Oh, at Spock?
at Spock.
Oh no! Does he pinch him?
That would be awesome. No, he slams down the jug of water
Oh, does he?
on the desk and says,
Spock does?
"No, Columbo does. Peter Falk does."
Oh, so he's aggravated.
Oh, pissed. Normally
think-
it's the other way, where the murderer gets pissed, right? Because Columbo's bothering me. But this time, Columbo's just like fed up.
J.O.B. Captain Video and his Video Rangers were destroyed. Only that's a shame. Yeah. Yeah, that was Ed Norton when they got the TV set, TV or not TV, and you know, Honeymooners, man. I tell you, Dave, you love the Honeymooners, right?
Never saw an episode.
Oh God. I might have said this before. Oh my God. What? How? Go watch them. Anyways, Ed Norton and Ralph Crampton, they go ahead and buy it. It's right up your alley. You would like it. Ralph Crampton's cheap, so he goes in on a TV with Ed Norton. Ed Norton's like, "Whoa, it's $200 for a TV. I can't afford it." And Ralph goes, "Let's go in halves on it." You know what I mean? But who's going to get the TV, Dave? He'll flip a coin and he'll cheat. Ralph Cramden. He'll cheat and he'll flip a coin and go, okay, yeah, no, it's a. So he ends up getting the TV up in his apartment, and Ed Norton wants to come watch it and watch his programming, and he loves Captain Video and his Video Rangers. So he wants to watch Captain Video, and Ralph comes home from a long day's work, goes in his bedroom, and he hears the TV on out there and freaks out because Ed Norton, and he's got his big space helmet on and his his laser gun and all that, which I got my laser gun back here. You know, he comes out and he's he's ready. Captain Video and his Video Rangers. Of course, this is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But it's just a funny episode. They're going in halves on the TV, but Ralph is always in charge, and Ed Norton kind of falls, and he kind of tries to fight back. And it's just a great episode. And he brought that up, and he said one of the best Honeymooner episodes was that. Oh, Dave should watch the Honeymooners episode where they talk about Charlie Chan reference. I'm trying to think of which episode that is, because that was just a quick Charlie Chan reference. Also, one of the best Honeymooner episodes. That's a good one for Dave to watch. Only 25 minutes long. TV or not TV. Yeah, no, listen, they're on YouTube too. You should check out one episode.
All right.
I know, something else to add to the list if you can.
Yeah,
but I know.
Kind of like, I've never been attracted to the Honeymooners, you know, because it's like I see that big room that they live in, and it's kind of like it's
Dave, you must watch.
Oh my gosh, it's yes, master. It's kind of like I Love Lucy, but not as advanced of a set, and I think that's what throws me off. And
oh no, that's what adds to the Honeymooners. It's the fact that Ralph Cramden is so cheap. Like, there's an episode where a postcard comes in, it's got the bill for your electric company. Back then it was a postcard.
All right.
And he goes, yeah. Ed Norton goes, yeah, that we know. The blabbermouth said your price. It was 38 cents, I do believe, and it was the all-time lowest record for an electric bill in the building for back then. But that's the point. It's just that room, and that's all you need, because it's set up like a stage play, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's meant to be all set there, although they do go different places and stuff. So it's not just in there, but it's mainly in there. And even when he gets this, like, he finds funny money. There's speaking of finding money and stuff like that, and he thinks he's a millionaire, and he doesn't go and buy a house on Park Place. He updates, he puts new wallpaper up and fixes up the apartment there that he's living in. And it's like,
oh my gosh,
seriously? You're not going to just leave that place?
There's a woman that I was friends with. She's passed away now, but she found a alleged Jackson Pollock painting at a thrift shop. And she paid $5 for it. And there's actually a movie about her and her road to authenticating it as a Jackson Pollock. And she's basically asking like $25 million for it. And
wow, okay.
She lives in a trailer by me in Los Angeles at the beach, obviously. And I asked her, I go, when you sell this, are you going to buy a big mansion or something, big house, or you're going to move? And she goes, no, I'm not going to move. She goes, basically, my trailer is trailer number 1. In front of me is a street that no one goes down.
Yeah. It's Bo. Hey, Bo.
Cat. Say hi to
Bo.
Hello.
No.
No. Harry. But on the other side of the street is a wetlands preserve. So she has a view of the ocean.
Okay.
And she goes, no, I'm not going to move. She goes, I'm going to put new siding on my trailer. And that just reminded me of like it's kind of cheap. Buy a nice place.
How old is she?
She died at 86. I met her when she was like 73.
Okay. And okay. Because how long did she got the money, right? For the
no, she died with it, still holding on to the painting. No one would pay her enough, but she actually has a DVD. It's called Who the F is Jackson Pollock? It is on YouTube. You can find it as well. But she was a great friend, and she even came and spoke to my class, and
wow,
everything like that.
Very cool story. Wow. Yeah, boy, that Well, you know, there are some people out there like that. They don't want to change their life, and they're fine with what they're doing and stuff like that. But me and you, we want to buy as big a place as possible to make wings for offices
I
for
still want to
decades.
do, I want to do the Clue Mansion.
Oh yeah, no. If only. Thing is, I never play the lottery. I'm not spending. I know the odds are just so far against me. I don't do it. Every now and then, like
I
once a
hear you.
year, I play a buck.
Well, you know, I've had two friends who have won.
Wow.
I have had one friend won $1 million,
Wow.
and kind, generous person. I mean, bought his mom a front door to her house. You know, just that kind of a person.
Yeah.
The other guy I did not like won the Powerball over $300 million, and he
No.
disappeared. We have not heard from him in 25 years.
Well, sounds about right.
Yeah, just was like I've won, boom, moved, and didn't tell anybody. Doesn't want anyone coming, going, "Hey, can I borrow $50,000?" Because that would drive me nuts.
Oh yeah, no, listen, I win something like that too. I don't think anybody's gonna ever hear from me either. I'm
Great.
done.
Aiden's gonna come talk to me. Go, "Hey, Dave,
No, listen, there's
got all
people
these Legos here."
no, there's people I'd reach out to, but yeah, no. I'd let you know, Dave. That ain't gonna happen, man.
Shakedown just cracked me up.
Hey, but where's Luke? Give me 25 million and
Yeah, give me 25 million. This is my wife.
what the heck? Okay, anyways, listen, it's the bottom of the hour. It's been nice talking, having fun, talking about Charlie Chan. We will see you next week for Columbo. Hopefully,
Hopefully.
we'll get more people turning out.
Yeah,
Please leave a
it's a great episode of Columbo, so please be here.
yeah. Please leave a thumbs up or a comment after underneath the video, and I'm going to end now. So, first person over to get a comment, I'll respond to. Listen, I'm only joking. I respond to every single comment because I don't get that many. Okay, peace. Yeah.
Thank you so much.